aspect of things that you'll see around here. So it's a chance for your child to meet new friends and try new things. It's an extremely important time in your child's development and their experience here at DC. The kids, especially in middle school, love their athletics. Last year we had close to like 92% of all of our middle school students played at least one sport, and 85% of the students played 2 or more sports last year. So a bunch of the schools that we have in our league that we play, Kent, CA, Grayland, they require their kids to play a sport. And when I told them how many kids are playing here, they were absolutely baffled. And it's really because of the community and the culture that is in the middle school and the parents that value their kids coming out and giving sports a try, which is great for me. The middle school sports that we offer. So in the fall is our big season. We offer volleyball, golf, boys soccer, cross country, flag football for our 6th graders, tackle football for 7th and 8th grade, cheer. New this fall, we're doing tennis, and then fall performance. In the winter, we do boys basketball and girls basketball. We'll talk about those seasons here in just a little bit. And then in the spring, we do girls soccer, track and field, boys baseball, boys volleyball, and spring performance, as well as golf. Unfortunately, that one didn't make the list. So we do offer golf twice. I haven't worked it out, but from the numbers, we're going to try to offer tennis twice as well. When I put out to the middle schoolers for the last couple of years, who's interested in tennis, I would have like 5 or 10 kids that are like, oh, I'll try tennis. That sounds great. So then I opened it up, and now we had like 43 kids sign up for tennis the first year. So kind of the same situation we have in golf, where we have so many kids that want to do it. I'm not the type of person that can say no to kids playing sports. So if we can offer it again in the spring, we'll probably offer it in the spring as well. So if you have a child that plays a fall sport, also wants to do a spring sport or the same one, we can work those out. We try to match all of our sports to the same high school sports that we have. Hopefully we will get high school tennis going, as well as boys volleyball possibly at some point as well. So we're just trying to give as many offerings as we can to our middle schoolers to keep them busy, and appreciate that. Schedules. So all of our seasons run between 8 and 10 weeks long. It just kind of depends on what the calendar looks like and the availability. So fall sports typically run from August 20th through October 24th. Boys basketball runs October 20th through December 18th. Girls basketball runs from January 6th to February 27th. And then spring sports run from the first week of March until the second week of May. So the reason that we had to split up boys and girls basketball was, again, a numbers problem. So currently, last season, we had 2 basketball teams per grade per gender. So when you have, that's math here, 12 middle school teams plus another 10 high school teams with 2 gyms, there's only so much time to get basketball in. And what ended up happening the first year that we tried to do this, it ended up that our basketball teams were only getting pretty much 2 one-hour practices a week plus games. And for us, we want our kids to be able to get between 3 and 4 contacts a week, and we want them to be able to practice at least an hour and a half because our practices just go by way too fast. So the only way that we could reasonably make this happen was to split up the boys and girls basketball seasons. So I know that's different than how we have done it in the past, but the main reason that we did that is so that those athletes would get a good and proper amount of training within that time and that place. It works out very well. I wanted to get this information out to you sooner than I did last year, so if your kids do play any type of club basketball, they can still get signed up for their club teams and play the full normal season, which goes like November to March. But here we're going to split them up, and it's worked pretty well so far. So as soon as our 2 new gyms get put in over at the new building, then we'll switch that up. But By that time, most of your kids will be in high school, so we won't worry about that now. Practices and contacts a week. I just kind of talked about this a little bit. So we want your child to have between 3 and 4 contacts a week. If anything, that helps them get ready for what it looks like when they get to high school. So our biggest goal in middle school is to have your middle schoolers prepared so when they're freshmen and they walk into their first practice as freshmen, they're not, deer in the headlights wondering what is going on. So in order to make that happen, we do morning practices for all of our middle school teams. So each team will have a morning practice during the season. I am personally a big fan of morning practices. I feel like the kids getting here, once they finally wake up, like 10 minutes into practice, they typically get through pretty good, but the rest of their day actually is great. They're more focused in class. They get that exercise out. And then at the end of the day, they can just go, and they don't have to stick around at school. So the way that we work those is your child's team will have the same morning practice for the entire season. So for example, 6th grade volleyball this year, their morning practice day is on Thursdays. So if they have a game on Thursdays, they won't have morning practice that day. You'll never have morning practice on a Monday, I promise. Nobody wants that, except for the high schoolers. They have to do it. That's on them. And we don't do morning practices on Fridays either. So it's either going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And over the whole 8 to 10 week season, you'll probably have maybe 3 to 4 morning practices out of that whole season. So it's not the end of the world, I promise. Your kids will fight you for it, but I will love you for making them come. So please make sure they do that. And then afternoon practices, start times are either 3:30, 5, or 5:30, depending on the day. For the 5 and 5:30 practices, if you would like your kid to go home from school, that's fine. Just make sure that they come back to school for practice. If you would like for them to stay here at school, we offer an after-school, we'll call it study hall, but it's really just like herding the emotional squirrels that have just gotten out of school for like an hour and a half. So like you'll take them outside to the playground, you'll feed them, and you'll just make sure they don't destroy the room that they're sitting in. And if they get any homework done, that's like a bonus. But we do have that opportunity for them to hang out here after school. You'll get some notes about that. We do need help from parents to watch those squirrels after school, and it's actually really fun, and it's a good benefit for everyone. Travel. This is every middle schooler's favorite part about playing middle school sports. So we provide the transportation for all of our road games. They miss the last class of the day. I worked it out with our teachers now that we're not going to get them out in the middle of a class, that we'll get them out just before the last period, and then we will take them to their away game. In most cases, we need you to pick them up from the game. There will be some cases if a coach drives and they have to bring the bus back, they'll be able to bring your kiddo back to school when that happens, but we would prefer if you were just able to pick them up from the game or secure a ride with another parent when they leave from there. The second note on here, please don't let your child miss out on the chance of traveling to the game with friends and teammates. This particularly goes for sports where we have multiple teams going to one place in the same time. So, for instance, let's use volleyball again. When we play volleyball games, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade will all travel at the same time. The hard part for that is sometimes the 8th graders will travel, but their game won't start until sometimes like maybe 5, 6 p.m. And so what has started to happen is a lot of parents are like, no, you're not going to take the bus. We're going to bring you home, and then we'll meet you at the game. But when you do that, your child's actually missing out on a huge part of what the sports experience is, and that's getting to be at the other school and cheering on their other teammates and riding the bus and hanging out. Now, if you have to do that, I understand every family is different, but I want to encourage you to let your child be bored at another school for a couple hours, because it's amazing the friendships and the things that happen when they have that opportunity. All right, so don't try to let them convince you, no, I don't want to go. I'd rather just go get a snack and take a nap, whatever. Just tell them, Mr. Hanson told you to get on the bus, and I'll meet you at your game. It'll be just fine. Team sizes and tryouts. So team sizes are determined by the sport and number of coaches we have. Coach to player ratio is extremely important for us for individual and team success. So you all got an email from me. I've had lots of great conversations over the summer about tryouts and what that looks like and those kind of things. The reason why we're moving to this model instead of a first come, first serve sign up basis and things like that. We actually have been doing tryouts for like the last 3 years. The thing that's different now is we have so many kids that are wanting to come out. We have more kids than we have spots available on teams. And so, it's important for us to make sure that the kids and the coaches get the best experience that they can. I'm going to go to volleyball again. I actually coached 7th grade volleyball last year. Thank you. With my wife. She probably thought it was horrible, but it was great for me. I learned a lot. But like I said, if we have a team of 14 girls on one volleyball team, and they only play 6 on the court, the chance that your child is going to get the best experience and actually get playing time is a lot less than if we were only to send 10 girls on that team, okay? And then the amount of instruction that they get at practice by having a lower number of teams is they will get more consistent and better reps at that time. And so just putting it from a numbers standpoint, it makes it difficult. Like, I know it's really hard. We'll have to have some conversations with some kiddos of what that looks like. But that also comes down to you guys as parents, helping your kids understand that it's okay to do hard things and it's okay to fail at things, because failure is a huge way to lead to success. And so if you don't fail and you don't try hard things, then you're never going to learn the absolute most that you can do. So I'm all ears. I have a complete open door policy. If you need to talk to me once we're done with tryouts and what that looks like here in a couple weeks, we will have that conversation. I'm more than happy to have that conversation. When it comes to tryouts, coming from a middle school to high school format, all of our varsity coaches have had meetings with me over the summer to talk about what those tryouts are going to look like and how are we going to grade the kids on the skills that they're learning or have learned. And then that way we have actual data to show you guys, okay, this is what your child needs to work on going forward. And then from my experience prior to coming to Denver Christian, I can give you a ton of places in which your child can work on those things in a place and then come back the next year and make it. So by having our varsity coaches help out with that process, not only are they teaching the skills and drills in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that will help them get ready for high school, it's actually a precursor of what they can expect once they get to high school, if that makes sense. So it's a whole thing. We're working on it. It's a big change, and I'm here and happy to help walk you and your kids through it. Preparation for high school and feeder teams. So Mr. Becker mentioned it earlier. It's an amazing opportunity, the fact that we are able to have literally our own feeder teams within our program. So what all of our high school coaches do is they create a learning tree for our middle school teams that say in 6th grade we want our kids to know these skills and these drills. In 7th grade we want them to know these and this. And then in 8th grade we want them to know all of that plus this and this. And then what happens is when your kiddo becomes a freshman and walks into, we're going to pick on volleyball, I guess. I'm just stuck on volleyball today. Walks into volleyball practice as a freshman, and Coach Heyman says, we're going to run this drill. He's not having to teach that drill. He's able to teach the skills to make the drill even better, right? And so each one of your kids, as they move through Denver Christian, is preparing themselves to make it better and prepare themselves for high school. And we do that for every single sport. And so the opportunity that your child is going to have to grow and get better here at Denver Christian is absolutely exponential. It is amazing to see the now sophomores and juniors that we have in high school that started this program when I got here, and they were 6th and 7th graders, and the majority of them that are now on varsity when they start as a freshman or getting to varsity as a sophomore and really contributing to the team is a huge factor to what they have learned when they were in middle school when they get there. Now, your child may already be playing on feeder teams or club teams, and we want them to continue to do that, but we don't want them to miss out on the opportunity of playing here at Denver Christian in middle school, so that not only can they get used to what we're doing here at Denver Christian, but they can get used to playing with their friends, right? There's so many times that kids are playing club sports that they never get the chance to actually play with their friends at school. So we encourage and want your children to do that. Now, when it comes to figuring out the schedules and all of that kind of stuff, I've gotten pretty good at asking ChatGPT how to make these schedules work out. So if you need help doing that, I'm more than happy to help you out with that. But it's definitely something that's important for us that your child gets to do all of those kind of things. Communication. How many of you have multiple kids here at Denver Christian? Raise your hands. And how many of them may have multiple children but are playing multiple sports at the same season? You can do all that. Okay, communication is extremely important to myself and Miss Kirsten Martinez. So what we have this year is every sport has their own Google Calendar. So once the teams are created, you will get an email with that Google Calendar that you can just download directly to your Google Calendar, and it will give you every practice and every game and the location of those practices and those games. So you'll get a notification straight from Google to tell you where to go and where to be. The nice part about that is if we have to cancel or change anything, you will automatically get a notification to let you know that that schedule has been changed or something's been changed, which is great. You just have to subscribe to it. The second thing that we're changing this year, instead of using the Remind app for middle school athletics, we've teamed up with TeamSnap. How many of you guys have used that in the past? TeamSnap is amazing. So what's going to end up happening is once the teams are finalized, we will actually put your team, your information into the roster, and then you'll get an email or a notification if you already have the app in order to join TeamSnap so you can get those that way. And if you can't get the schedule from those two things, you can always check the Roll DC Thunder webpage or the Denver Christian Brightly calendar. But after that, I'm not updating any more calendars. That's 4, okay? But you can also send me an email. I'll forward it to Kirsten, and she'll tell you when your game or practice might be. But we'll get you all in the same place at one time, hopefully. Uniforms. So Ms. Pierce just talked about boosters, and so new uniforms for this year. Thank you, boosters. I put them on the back of the chairs up there when you're on your way out. Girls volleyball, girls soccer, boys soccer, and golf are all get new uniforms this year. Please take care of your child's uniform and follow the washing instructions that come on them. All of our uniforms are on a 3-year cycle for replacement now. So hopefully by the time you 6th graders are done, you will help design the next set of uniforms for the next group of middle schoolers that come in. So what I do is I take a handful of 7th and 8th graders, I meet with them, they actually help design the uniforms, and then we kind of have a vote between all of them of what looks the best and what they like, and then that's the next set of uniforms that we use. And it's a fun way for those kids to really lean into the next group of middle schoolers that come up, and honestly, they know more about all of the drip and swag and things that those kids want to wear in the next time than we do. And so please check out the uniforms that we have when you leave. Boosters. So middle school boosters is an actual thing. We are going to start opening up the concession stand for middle school games. and it's a great opportunity for our middle school families to kind of get a taste of what it's like to help out in concessions. We want to have our concession stand open for all middle school games. We may not serve all the same things. The kids pretty much just want the candy and the Gatorade anyways, but that's just dependent on how many people we can and how long the games are going to be open and stuff like that. So I would encourage you to work some high school and middle school events if you want to. Sign up with a friend. So if you've been meaning to want to get together with one of the guys or a couple families together and you have just been texting and calling, but you actually want like a solid hour where you can talk to someone face to face while the rest of your children are running amok in another gym and I have to take care of them and you just have to hang out and slang candy, please, let's do it. I mean, I'm all about it. So, some of the huge impacts of boosters obviously are culture building, our uniforms, and then the experience for your kids. They love helping out in the concession stand. If you have seen my son, he's the one that walks around with like the sandwich board up and down the aisles of the game saying that the concession stand is open. Please don't give him any money this year. Last year, people were giving him like actual money for doing it. You can just pay him in candy. I would prefer that than pockets of cash. It looks a little shady. So, middle school nights. These are probably I would have to say my second favorite night that we have in middle school. Middle school nights are great. It's an opportunity for you and your family to come and recognize your middle schooler at a high school varsity game. So we'll have all the middle schoolers come out. We'll have them stand in front of all of the parents awkwardly and wave their hands. I'll say some nice things about their coaches, a quick little story about what's happened during the season, and then they kind of go off. I say this is my second favorite night. My first favorite night is actually a night that a lot of you don't know about, but we, or me specifically, know that if we want to grow the culture of middle school sports and athletics here at Denver Christian, we've actually created a night where our high school varsity teams will come to the middle school games. And it is absolutely amazing to watch these high schoolers go crazy over a sixth grade girls basketball game where the score is like 6-2, and like it's absolutely amazing, and it's by far my favorite night that happens. Your kids will love it, but these nights are great for families to come and recognize their kids as well. And then final thoughts. So we want your kids to do hard things. It's important for them to do hard things. It's going to sound crazy coming from me, but it's important for your kids to fail at things. Like, it is okay to do that. And we actually want that to happen so that we can teach them how to overcome doing hard things. If they're succeeding at everything that they're doing, we are not trying hard enough. And the more that we can give them to do and the harder things that we give them to do, the better that they're going to be as athletes. And even more importantly, the better they're going to be at humans once they leave middle school and get to high school and that kind of thing. We want your kids to be great kids. I talk to a lot of coaches that ask, oh man, what are the parents like? I'm like, they're absolutely crazy at Denver Christian. No, I'm just kidding. We are so blessed to have absolutely amazing parents and great kids because of the things that you guys are doing for your kids outside of practice and outside of the gym. We want you to encourage them to be great kids and to be great athletes. And then lastly, what's our record? Okay, I get that question so much, not from parents, but from the kids primarily. In my 4 years of being here at Denver Christian, I have not kept one record of one team the entire time. Those things don't matter to me at all. You will never see me hang a middle school basketball championship trophy or banner in any of our gyms, like some other gyms. I'm not going to mention them, but I see them when I go in there. Because what's important for me is how your kids are benefiting from the coaching that they're getting. I schedule very hard games for them on purpose, right? Very challenging schedules for them on purpose. It's to teach them to be resilient, to be able to overcome hard things and know that it's okay. If we were just focused on the win-loss record at the end of the middle school season, we have completely failed. But you will know your kids will keep records. I saw it written on one of the bathroom stalls last year for volleyball. I'm not going to lie, okay? But we are not keeping track of records, okay? And that's okay, and that's important. But you'll see your kids will be very successful because we have great middle school coaches, and we have great staff and faculty that encourage them to do those things and do them very well. So, like I said, that was pretty quick. Do we have any questions really quick? Yeah. Yep. Just shoot me an email. We will make it work. I would like to have all of your physicals in by the 20th, unless your kiddo's doing tackle football, and then that's going to be the 13th. But if that's an issue, we can figure something out. Just let me know. Yep. No, it's morning and afternoons. Morning just one day a week. Yep. We should do morning practices every single day for 6th grade basketball. What do you think? Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, please sign up for both. That way you'll get information about the tryouts and the practice schedule going into the schedule beforehand, okay? If we are in a sport that has cuts, okay, and your child is trying out for 2 different sports that has cuts, we're going to ask them most of the time to try to pick one of those 2 spots, okay? So that way we can get as many kids playing as possible. We have a unique situation in which, let's talk girls tennis and, you guessed it, volleyball, okay? So girls tennis and volleyball for middle school, they run at the same season. But when they get to high school, they won't overlap with each other. So if we have a child that wants to do girls tennis and girls volleyball as an 8th grader, we'll have to have that conversation. As they're 6th and 7th grade, we'll talk about them only playing one of the 2. But as an 8th grader, we'll have that conversation of playing 2 sports at once. A lot of 6th graders, how many 6th grade families do we have in here? Let's go. You have kids that want to do like all the sports as soon as they get to 6th grade. I want to do everything. I'm going to ask you to pump the brakes on your kiddos a little bit, and I will have some conversations with them as well. You can talk to 7th and 8th grade parents. Raise your hands. Okay, see all these hands that are raised, 6th graders? Okay, the first 3 months of 6th grade are no joke. Like, they're learning a whole new schedule, a whole new level of school. You no longer have to walk in single file lines anymore, 6th graders, okay? It's a whole thing. But with that and these schedules, we don't want your kiddos to be burnt out by Halloween. Okay? Actually, we don't want them to be burnt out like by Labor Day. Halloween is like way far away. We don't want them to be burnt out by Labor Day. I would encourage you to just play one sport to start the fall, and then we can work on more from there. But we will always have those conversations if they want to do more than one sport. Any other questions? Yeah. Tennis is boys and girls, yep. And so is golf. Golf is co-ed for the fall and the spring. Yeah. Totally. Yep. We want your kids to try things. I want your kids to try sports they've never tried before. If they're really good at girls soccer and they've never played volleyball, go play volleyball. Right? Like, if your kid plays high-level sports in one sport, it's really good for them to come to another sport and take those high-level skills that they're learning and being coached at, of being competitive, of trying new things, and try it at something that they're not so good at. One, because they need to know what it's like to not be the best person on a team every single time. It's a crazy realization that happens, but when it happens, it's magical because it kind of brings everybody down to earth a little bit. And they get to play with their friends, right? And that's the most important part right now. Anything else? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Exactly how you said it. That's the whole purpose. You know, we have 63 kids that want to do golf in the fall, and we have 30 spots. So by offering it in the spring, it allows those kids that want to play a different fall sport, they can also do it in the spring. Or if they play a spring sport that they really like baseball, they can do golf in the fall or something like that. And once I find more tennis courts, if anybody has a hookup on tennis courts, I had no idea that tennis courts were harder to find than basketball hoops in the Littleton area. We'll have more tennis. I won't say no to kids wanting to play more. If I can find more sports, you know, my middle school tennis coach is looking at me right now like, pump the brakes, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. But I found another coach today, coach. So, you know, yeah, it's awesome. Let's go. Okay. And then last but not least, coaching. If you're interested in coaching, talk to me. I would love it. The more people that we can breathe Jesus into while doing sports is an amazing thing. It doesn't stop. And that's the best part about Denver Christian is if you're coaching in a club sport right now, outside of a Christian school, I bet you're not praying with your kids before practice and after practice. I bet you're not. And if you are, you're probably getting some funny looks. You'll get funny looks at Denver Christian if you don't pray with your kids before practice and after practice. I promise you that. So, yes? So tryouts will start the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And then that week of the 25th is when we're going to start practices and things like that. So, you will get word on what team your child makes from me. I'm taking all of that pressure off of the coaches. So, we'll have the tryouts. I'll talk with the coaches. We'll come together and figure out what's best for everyone. And then you'll get that note from me of, you know, what happened. So, if you're angry, come to me. Don't go to your coaches. Yes, sir. Girls softball, I have to figure out a field and how that works out. We have an amazing baseball field that's over here. The mound is permanent, so the mound's not going anywhere. And if you've ever been out on our field, come out to the baseball and soccer field on August 25th and see what it looks like out there. It is amazing and crazy all at the same time. Between high school and middle school soccer, high school and middle school football, that place is absolutely packed. So if we can figure out a field and what that looks like, I'm not going to say no. Yep. But I have to right now because we don't have a field. So, yes, sir. Yeah, so we're going to open up registration for boys basketball is going to come in September, towards the end of September. And then girls basketball will be in December. The reason that we're doing that is I didn't want to overload you guys with trying to sign up all of your kids for the entire school year at one time. When you get to high school, you have a pretty good idea of what all the sports you guys are going to play. And honestly, I didn't really want to go through like 400 registrations in the first 3 weeks of school. So I took it easy on myself and we just did fall. So that's why I did that. Yeah. Yeah, you just wait. Yep, just wait. Anything else? All right. First and foremost, I am so excited to meet your kids here in a couple weeks. This place has been a ghost town for the last 3 months, and it's starting to get a little bit more life to it. You will see me a lot. Please feel free to stop me and chat, ask any questions. Your kids will understand that it's okay to come up and talk to Mr. Hansen whenever. I want to help you and your kids navigate middle school sports to the best of our abilities to make them great kids. And so far, we're doing pretty good. So let's close in prayer, and then let's go home and go to bed. So, dear Heavenly Father, I am just so thankful that you brought these parents here. And I cannot wait to meet the kids that are coming into this program, into this athletic program. I just ask that you all give them a sense of peace and ease the anxious nerves that are coming over the next few days before school starts. Allow them to walk in your will and live in your way as you would want us to as we go through each and every day. In your name we pray, amen. All right, guys, we'll see you later.